Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is out of control people. Well, hopefully you don't have anybody in your life who's out of control. Because people like that, they will ruin your life. And what you want to do is not have people who are out of control in your life. Now, I know this is pretty hard to get people like that out of your life, but if you want a good life, you're going to have to. And this is going to be pretty darn hard, because if you got an out of control person in your life, they're in there making things rough for you and creating all kinds of chaos and drama. And the reason that they're out of control might not even be their fault, right? They could be mentally ill. They could have been raised really bad. They could be on drugs and got themselves hooked on drugs, and might have not even been their fault. However, just because something isn't that person's fault, that they're out of control, that doesn't give them the right to ruin your life, does it? Well, that's the big question, right? Does another person being out of control just because they're in your life, does that give them the right to ruin your life? Well, it seems to me that a lot of people in the world would say yes. That's my wife. She's got a right to treat me like garbage. I married her. I'm going to deal with it that way. She's got a right to bully and berate and make my life a living hell. We see that a lot, right? That's my husband. I married him. He's got a right to abuse me. Right? We see that too. Well, that's my mother, my father. They have a right to treat me poorly. It's my daughter, my son. They're on drugs. I've got to take care of them, even if they're adults. Well, what do you think about that? I don't know, man. When you get to a life where you minimize to the absolute bare minimum how much you deal with out of control people, your life goes up, up, up fantastically. You'll find that a lot of your lives are really bad, really chaotic, really struggle and frustrating, because you're dealing with out of control people. I think it would be in your best interest to cut those out of control people out of your life decisively, conclusively. Wash your hands of them and move on. Then you will have a chance for your life to go from the bad life that dealing with them has created, into something good. But man, I know how hard this is going to be for a lot of you to do. And truthfully, most of you aren't going to do this. You're going to continue to suffer and struggle. You're going to consider it your burden. I'm just suggesting that you think of it the way I'm suggesting, right? And say, maybe my life is worth cutting that person out of it, moving on, and trying to have a chance at a good life. Just because someone else is out of control, that doesn't give them the right to ruin your life. So, I'm sorry how this sounds. I know it sounds selfish. I know it sounds like I don't care about other people's burdens and other people's responsibilities and the situations that they're in. I'm I'm sorry for all of that. I really, really am. But I think most of us, we don't have the capacity to deal with out of control people on that level. That the out of controlness that some people throw on you is going to be so difficult that you have no ability to deal with it. Let's face it, most of us can barely, deal with our own lives. And let's say if we're like halfway normal, we can barely deal with our own life, let alone all this out of control person. So I would say, get back to that, well, I'm going to deal with my own life. I'm going to make my own life as good as I can. And this other out of control person, they're just going to have to do it on their own. As a society, we should be taking care of ourselves, of the people who are out of control. At this moment in society, it seems like we're forcing the out of control people on to the normal people, and the normal people are expected to pick up this slack, this enormous problem, and deal with it, and we can't. They can't. I had an out of control wife. I couldn't deal with her. Things had to change, and I dealt with things decisively, and my life has gone from just a piece of garbage life to like an incredibly happy life that I enjoy now. And yeah, it's not easy to do, but the results are worth it. So give that extremely hard idea a little thought. I hope this helps. I know it's hard. I'm sorry it's so hard, but your life is too important for you not to think about it in this way. All for now.